Sorry, guys. What's going on, guys? Welcome to episode 129 of Noodle Time. I had myself muted there, Andres. Oh, it's what's going on, guys? Yeah. False start on me. What's going on, guys? Welcome to episode 129 again. Noodle Time. Um, guys, Jesus. I don't even know where to start right now because. First, you know what? Let's start off with something positive. Shout out to the Surge. We had a great time tailgating. Shout out to Andrew Wimby, Brian Ching, Pat Onstaff for coming through, hanging out with us as well, having a beer or two, interviewing the guys and stuff like that as well. Shout out to George from the Surge, who was the cook during that time period as well. Kept us fed and well maintained over there. A lot of adult beverages flowing, and a lot of great energy prior to what happened inside the stadium later on that day. But before we get to all that, man, let me introduce the two guys next to me. Andres, what's going on, bud? How are you?
Pretty good, Mark. It's another week. The good news is I wasn't really thinking about the results after last weekend. After just going through a busy work week, but other than that, man, doing pretty good.
That's good. OSG, what's going on, my guy?
What's up, man? The mileage tracker is getting going, and after the 0-2 start, I'm happy I don't have to go this weekend, so I'm enjoying the break before the doubleheader in the upcoming weekend. But 1:30 game, get to chill too during the day and just relax at night on a Saturday. So kind of like it, but man, frustrating. But like I said, the mileage tracker's going and racking up the miles already.
That's awesome, man. And obviously our little mascot still frowning. Not going good. Not going good. But I mean, let's get started, guys. I mean, obviously, we get hit with the news of well, first and foremost, all the excitement of Inter Miami coming in with the whole all the superstars that they collect. Suarez, Busquets, Alba, Messi, Marciano as a head coach, all those guys and stuff like that. The star power that came into Houston was inevitable, and we all look forward as far as soccer fans to see where we can match up against this great Inter Miami team. But then obviously the news hit late Friday that Messi did not travel with the team. So obviously a huge disappointment as far as soccer fan base, because obviously a lot of neutral casual fans bought tickets to come watch Messi play live, which I don't know if any of you guys have watched him live prior. I've fortunately had the opportunity to watch Messi play live a numerous couple of times, and every time I've seen him play, it's a pleasure. It's a pleasure to watch. But unfortunately for a lot of the people in the stands, they were denied that opportunity. But with that being said, no Messi, no problem. That was the war cry.
There was no Messi, no magic.
Well,
no Messi, no magic is what was everybody was saying prior to the game. They didn't need Messi's magic, did they?
Well, I mean,
I don't know the story.
A lot of magic came from obviously if you see the name on me, Segovia. A lot of magic came from my cousin Telasco scoring a brace. Obviously Luis Suarez scoring a goal, and Adin, who's the guy who replaced Messi in the lineup, scoring a banger of a goal. But with that being said, I mean, a 4-1 defeat at home, which pushes the Dynamo to 0-2 to start off our 20th anniversary season, which is not where we wanted to be, which is not where we thought we would be. But I mean, obviously with the circumstances of the lack of additions through free agency, and obviously the huge loss of leadership and quality of play that we had this offseason, I mean, it's something that we kind of figured would happen. Andres, I'll go to you first, bud. Your thoughts on the game just overall?
Honestly, just out talented by a team that has a lot of individual greatness.
Mm-hmm.
Particularly Luis Suarez is the first name that, if you watch the highlights, he's just destroying everyone.
Pistolero.
And honestly, it's just that particular game just really showed the magic of Luis Suarez of what he's been able to do. Because when I initially thought when he was coming to the league, I thought it was gonna be like, okay, he's probably here to sell jerseys, and it really just the highlights that I've seen of him before the game and watching him in the game, I was just really mesmerized with how he was just able to easily just take down the back line and just create those opportunities that he did. Real like offensively speaking, we were just like really on Miami's side, we were just really destroyed, and we weren't really doing any kind of counter to respond to Miami's like first goal, because it just felt like it was just piling on and on and on, while Houston just like stayed quiet for good chunks of the game, and real up into the first half, and really like just losing 3-0 before halftime. For me, it was just like, yeah, like without these type of adjustments, and granted, we didn't. There wasn't much we did in the off season. I feel like this game could have been pretty tight, but Miami just ran with it from the get go.
Yeah, I think they came in here with a purpose. I mean, obviously, as professionals, I mean, they take pride in their own talents and their own capabilities. I mean, Inter Miami obviously is headlined by the greatest of all time, in my opinion, and Lionel Messi being in our under team. But this team is still a great team even without Messi on the pitch. The level of individual talent and obviously the type of chemistry that they have. Playing not only MLS games and a Champions League game as well has gotten them up to mid-season form, up to realistically compared to us, this compared to Dynamo, this being only their second game. OSG, let me get to you. Your thoughts on the game as far as complete. As far as like what do you think, if anything, Ben could have done differently to maybe lessen the blow of the game?
I mean, to lessen the blow, I think it's our mistakes. It's the mistakes where are beating ourselves up so bad to start the games. The first goal we gifted Miami as well, trying to play out of the back and playing out of the back so friggin' slow, like we're a friggin' high school team, a JV high school team too, trying to play out of the back. They don't know what they're doing. They don't have a purpose. And granted, there's so many different bodies in the lineup that they haven't been playing with each other that much, but still, come on, they're professionals. This is their game. They should know how to play out of the back and do it a lot quicker with a lot more purpose instead of giving away all these friggin' mistakes. Against Dallas, 2 mistakes, and then we start off this game immediately with a friggin' stupid mistake right in the back, and they score immediately. And just let's add real quick, Suarez with 3 assists, to add on to his 1 goal. So he had 4 goal contributions and contributed in every friggin' goal against us. But man, I don't. This team is just disappointing right now in the way they're playing and the edge and the fight, which doesn't exist right now. They don't look like they have a purpose. Teams are just doubling Ponce, so if you do try to get him the ball, he's not going to win it. Or if he does win it, he's not going to win it on the second touch. Liu's obviously lost over in there in Wonderland. Dorsey can't do it all by himself, especially whenever we're not possessing the ball well and moving the ball well with some chemistry here. It sucks because we have a good bench. What could Ben do something different? You make changes sooner when it's not working this well. What's it going to hurt you? This was an opportunity, even though you don't believe Exxon's ready. It's an opportunity. You could have seen Exxon late in this game just to give him a few minutes and just to see what he can do when a team is down, and give him just opportunities on your bench for a reason. But it's whatever it is. That was just disappointing game to me, man, and expected better. So not surprised at the end of the day. But Miami's XG was 1.7, so it shows that we're making it easy for them to score a couple goals there.
Yeah, I mean, obviously another mistake out the back. You say that obviously they're men professionals; they should know how to play out from out the back. But it takes a certain type of talent level for a defense to play out the back along with the goalkeeper, and like I said, also having a certain amount of chemistry with each other, which they don't have at the moment because they just got put together, kind of glued together just at this last moment because of injuries and obviously because of the transfer of
Hey,
Mikael.
when I say play better out of the back, don't pass it directly to the opponent. Okay,
That's
we've
true.
done that twice. I'm
No.
expecting the Miami press to beat us, and we
Yeah.
can't get out of the back. But we're shooting ourselves in the foot, and we're giving the ball back to the other team when the press wasn't that pressed. It was just
Then one will ask, and why not just kick it out as a goal kick if we're having issues with it as well at this moment.
that's
But with that,
that's something that's us. Ben could have changed that to answer your own question there too as well.
yeah.
Could have changed the directions of the game.
Yeah, so I mean, and it's funny because we talked about Andres mentioned him, and so the USG about Luis Suarez, who's kind of like the forgotten star, with Messi obviously overshadowing everything, and for him to have a full goal, a 4-goal assist contribution in this match, and basically being involved in every goal of this match, for his team, and then scoring and still being able to score a great individual goal on his own. Him being 38 years old with 2 bad knees, like it's noted.
It shows.
It's noted how bad of an issue he has with his knees, and yet he's still out there dominating. And obviously, he's not playing anywhere near the level he played 10 years ago or anything like that. But I mean, we can't forget that he's arguably the best striker of his generation. And he has learned to play with his disadvantages now of having crappy ass knees, and he's still out there making it happen, getting other people involved. Obviously, like I said, the Segovia for 2 goals as well, and Aleden, who's the guy who replaced Messi in the lineup, scoring a banger of a goal. So I mean, like this team is motivated. This team in Miami. I mean, they were built to lift every championship possible that's available to them, and that's the purpose of this team, and that's the vision of the Beckham group with those guys over there in Miami. So I mean, and obviously with us being so I don't want to say complacent as far as grabbing new talent and growing on what we have done the last 2 years as far as being playoff contenders and lifting the U.S. Open Cup. It just kind of shows the differences and ambition as far as with the different teams in the league, because Miami if their ambition is in overdrive. Not to say that we're not that the Dynamo and front office don't have ambition and stuff like that, but obviously it's nowhere near the level of Miami's. But with that being said, I mean, I think we got the benefit of the doubt here with the 4-1 loss. I mean, I think it could have been much worse. I mean, a lot of people obviously, wanted to see Messi. I think if Messi would have been on there, I joked it would have been probably a 10-1 defeat or whatever.
Yeah,
would have
sure
been
did.
even bigger massacre. But with that being said, I mean, obviously, a lot of disappointment with Messi not being here, because this is probably the only opportunity that we would be able to see Messi in Houston and an MLS capacity. Obviously, he can come through with the League Cup or U.S. Open Cup or some other type of competition. But as far as MLS games go, and the way the schedules are structured, and the way we face Inter Miami throughout the history of the scheduling making, the next time we would see Miami in the regular season would be at Miami. So with that being said, this being the only opportunity, Messi being available to us and never being here before prior to him signing with Inter Miami, how do you feel for a fan base who, obviously, the Dynamo are trying to do the best they can to obviously they're providing free complimentary tickets to the people who went to the game. You get to choose from 1 of 7 games to go see, because of Messi not being there. But is it Miami's? Should MLS press Miami a little bit? Be like, hey, guys, this is the only time you're going to go to Houston. It is Sunday Night Football. This is our quote unquote prime time game, or game of the week or whatever. And we do want to obviously we're growing the game, and we want to make sure that every opportunity we have, especially for our prime time game, that we have our stars available. Yes, I know that Messi has played X amount of time, preseason and Champions Cup and all that stuff. But he knows the obligations that he has coming over here, and then obviously you're going to play a team in Jamaica. I mean, obviously, right now they're tied into the 47th minute with the team in Jamaica. But you know, I feel like he could have made the trip at least, and maybe been available for at least to play a little, maybe 20 minutes if needed. Obviously, they weren't. He wasn't needed. But what do you feel, Eric, as far as the Messi situation with the fans and all this stuff, and the people who wanted to come see him, and how everything was done kind of last minute, where he last minute was reported he wasn't coming to Houston at all.
Well, let's say again, he's not playing in this game that they're playing currently against Cavaliers either. So he's not on the bench either. It's a reported thigh or something injury.
But it's not an injury. I mean, I understand that you're trying to, maybe you're saving him, or you're trying to limit his playing time. But I mean, there's obligations.
There's not an obligation. The team can choose what they want to do, and it sucks. Take him out of your home game and play him for your away games, because I'm sure the Miami's getting some kind of portion back in ticket sales or whatever. So make sure he plays on all his away games. But I don't know. You can't force a team to do something. To play a player every game. It would have been nice if it was a little more notice, but I mean, what do you do? A lot of people already paid their money for those tickets long before. So I don't know what you could do. Miami has the choice. You don't play them, and it kind of, as a fan, it sucks. Luckily, I have seen him once before when he was still playing for Barcelona. They came to Miami, so I got to see him. But a lot of these other people, we saw somebody, Andres, when we were on the concourse. We interviewed a fan, came to see Messi, and had no clue. Had no clue, bro. Yeah,
imagine that fan.
So it does suck. I would have enjoyed to see him too, and right there in front of us in our own stadium, that would have been cool. So there's that part of it, nostalgia and all that good stuff. But again, it sucks. I'm a season ticket holder, so I paid for my tickets, in advance. So the Messi effect didn't affect me. So I'm not pissed in that manner as far as having to pay the upload of price. So it's hard for me to answer that question, but I'm answering from my perspective. It did not affect me one bit. I can care less that he was not there. I just hope the team would have performed better.
Nah, I got you. Andres, what about you, buddy?
Like, on the fans' perspective, obviously it's just annoying that there was a missed opportunity to see him play, and really, like, the influence that it shows every time. Like we've already seen it since he came into the league. Like, he's just able to have his own influence of fans of fans of soccer in Houston. Like, whenever, we do have a lot of knowledgeable soccer fans in the city. It's just a matter of not caring enough about MLS to show up on a daily basis.
Yeah.
And it was a great opportunity to see him play. I also wish we could have seen him play, regardless of how bad the score was probably going to be. But having Messi facing the Dynamo is not something we'll get to see every day, of course. But in my own opinion, obviously it's just a matter of Inter Miami practicing some precaution, because if MLS enjoys putting all these competitions in everyone's face, and not just like the league play, but also Conca Champions, Leagues Cup, some teams get to do Open Cup, and on top of the weeks that we played like 2 league games, or the fact that we no longer have like the whole month off for Leagues Cup, it just tells a lot that there's a lot of competitions, and teams are they should be able to do their own rosters and not really worry about MLS telling them like, hey, you should put out these players because fans want to see him. Inter Miami knows everyone wants to see Messi, but of course he's an asset, and if you're making all these players play all these games all year long, they're gonna get tired and they're gonna get injured. So they have to practice their own precaution. Inter Miami are smart enough about it because they were able to save him and win this game. And the soccer fan in me is it's kind of disappointing he didn't play. At the same time, I do recognize that he was they were pretty smart about arresting him because he plays as many games as possible. So yeah, kind of sucks.
I will tell you that for me and Andreas, where we are very disappointed in is from we were working the game in a media aspect, and we did not get to scrum and fight for an opportunity to get a pick from this far away and get an interview and even ask a question. We would have been down there in that small ass tunnel with a million media people trying to fight for it, but it would have been cool to be right there, and it would have been something neat to add to our portfolio as we're trying to grow Noodle Time and Foxtrot Media and all the good stuff. So that's where I'm disappointed at in the media aspect of it. It would have been fun and enjoyed to just take a picture of them this close away, far, or even get to ask a question. Andreas was sitting there ready to ask a question, but we did not get that opportunity.
There you go.
Yeah, and club-wise, if I could say one more thing, I felt like the club just really somewhat issuing an apology because a lot of fans were expecting to see Messi. First of all, if you're an eligible soccer fan, you have to know that Messi's at his age right now, and there's always a good chance he was probably gonna get set out. But of course, we never have the opportunity to see Messi, so rightfully so, fans were looking forward to see Messi in this game, and not to mention the fans that probably had to pay a lot of money that the Dynamo marked up tickets for, but not just it doesn't really go in the Dynamo, just the Dynamo, but also resellers. There's always going to be those, unfortunately, and I felt it was pretty smart of them to have that opportunity for fans to exchange those tickets for a different game. But of course, a lot of those fans were just probably looking to see Messi, and I don't think they might take that opportunity. But it's still good for Dynamo to do that.
For sure. And the irony of it was, what a beautiful day. I mean, what a beautiful day to play soccer in Houston. There was that Sunday afternoon, man. It was perfect. So our next homestead, we might be in the 90s already. Humidity taking over 100. So at least as from a fan base, we got to enjoy. We got to enjoy a game under great conditions as far weather-wise. But with that being said,
the tailgate comfortable. It made the tailgate comfortable on the concrete.
Sure. Way better than opening day.
A little windy, but it's all good.
Oh, yeah.
But going back to the game aspect from it, man, obviously we talked a lot last week about whether obviously the Aliyu army is dwindling and they're not as strong and loud as they started off the season. And we discussed whether Nico Lodero, who scored the lone goal, ironically, for the Dynamo, should start over Aliyu, or should they change up the formation a little bit to make sure that Lodero gets the start and is able to be on the pitch, since he is that veteran player who has played numerous amount of big games in his career. And and obviously, whether we like to admit it or not, even though I know this is just the second game of the regular season, this Inter Miami game was going to be a big game because we basically were going to have a full stadium, and anytime the Dynamo get an opportunity to have a full stadium, you want to show out because you want to attract the new fans or casual fans that come to that game because you want to make sure that they come back again. Like Andres said, we're giving everybody free tickets, and we're hoping that some of those casual fans take advantage of that free ticket and come back again and come and enjoy a Dynamo game because we want to pack out the stadium. But with that being said, who's to blame here? Realistically. Because like Andres said, Inter Miami came in with a purpose. They knew what they were gonna do. They came in 3 goals in the first half. They came here not to bullshit around. They came here to make a statement and hop back on the plane and go back to Miami. And that's exactly what they did. So who's here to blame? Obviously we know we had injuries. Obviously we saw Shizvenko and Escobar start. So that shored up our defense a little bit, but obviously it's their first game of the season, so they're still a little rusty. For me, and obviously, like OSG mentioned, he gave up a easy goal to Segovia. To start off the game, and that's not something that you want to do, especially after the Barlow incident in the first game against Frisco. But just realistically, man, I mean, it's not getting any easier. I mean, we're about to go on the road, and we're about to go against a MLS Cup champion here, who lifted the cup 2 years ago, and is a contender to go far in MLS again this season with the Columbus Crew this upcoming Saturday. What changes can be made? What can we do? What is there anything that we can do, Andres, to have a better result, or to at least look competitive? Because, like I said, 2 home games, two goals, no creativity. Both goals were basically off. Well, the Ladero goal was pretty, individually created. The Bassi goal, obviously, like I said, it was a mistake on Frisco's end, but still no creativity, no connection, no chemistry with the offensive side of the ball. What can be done, Andres, to change or to have a better outcome going up to Columbus this Saturday?
It really feels like that, and that's the thing that I've been seeing for the past 2 games, and really something that we also discussed in length after the Inter Miami game with David from Dynamo Fan TV. That adjustments are more than needed. Of course, it will be kind of easier to just have someone new to at least try something out, and we do have a couple options on bench to consider, which I feel like at that point against Inter Miami, might as well just give it a shot, because the score's already out of control for us.
Mm-hmm.
And I didn't see that. And the one big thing for me that I want to see from Ben is to try out new things, not just subbing out a player here and there, but also just the approach to the game, and it has to change. Really, like you said it yourself, in terms of creativity and our offensive prowess. It's just us trying to score the ball in and see how it works. And honestly, it worked for us well. It's just very early on, I feel like teams are just reading us from the get-go. They're just able to read our plays, and we're just having a tough time penetrating into the final third. It's just really annoying how slow we are when it comes to the offensive build-up, and just trying to see what sticks up front. And defensively, like you said, I feel like our personal mistakes defensively are getting the better of ourselves, and teams are just capitalizing on that, and they're gonna keep doing it if nothing changes. So it's just a matter of the team having to believe, and Ben Olsen having to resort to different ways to approach all the games from now, because of course Columbus this weekend, but then we do have a trip after the game against RSL. We do have a trip to Cascadia, and it's gonna be hell. And the team is gonna be in tough conditions. The schedule's not gonna be easy from here, man. It's just the team has to an extent, turn the page out of these 2 bad results, and I trust them still. They can get out of this mess. They've already proven it in 2023, where they started the year 0-2, like where we are right now. They can still pull through, but it's up to them.
So look, I'll tell you, Mark, and Andres, there's a couple things. Ben has to make tactical adjustments during the game, and more tactical adjustments, and just adjust to the way the game's playing. He's sticking to his ways and not making that adjustments. He's sticking to his starting lineup. So you ask, what can we do? Can you start Lodero? He's not going to bench Aliyu. We know that for a fact. So we expect you could get Sebak and get benched, and then Lodero comes in. Bassi probably plays. Whichever. Lodero played in the Coco role when he subbed in against Miami. So you have a couple of options you could do. You could start Duenas in the midfield if just play with something and give those players options to start as well. That's what they're there for. You can't just start the same friggin' 11 every week. You do need to integrate different players in.
So this is my question to you guys. Obviously, Ben Olsen, he's been here for the last 2 years, and obviously he's had a successful 2 year stint with the Dynamo. Obviously taking us to the playoffs and stuff like that. But his formation and his tactics haven't really changed that much. Obviously, the last 2 years he had much more talented teams and much more talented individual players on those teams, right? And right now, obviously the talent level isn't what it needs to be. So is it one thing where for a coach maybe the stubbornness of Olsen maybe not changing the formation and maybe going to a formation that's better suited for the type of players that he has currently? Because like I said, Ali might be quite quick and fast, and he might be a good runner as a winger. But I don't see Bassi as a winger. Ali's really the only true winger we have, and you see the level he's playing at right now. Ponce is not getting any kind of service or any kind of connection with anybody as far as the ball goes, as for him to get to the to try to score a goal. I mean, he scored a great header and scored a goal. Unfortunately, it was called back. But that's the only way through free kicks or through those type of plays. But is it time for Ben Olsen to maybe hey, change up the style a little bit, because obviously you don't have the capability of players to play in the system that you're so accustomed to, and if you don't have that type of player, then you need to change your style up a little bit. I mean, you can't be so stubborn into trying to force the 4-3-3 when you don't have wingers available for you that can provide what you need to score the goals and to create offense. Because like I said, these last 2 games, man, I'm scared to go to Columbus right now. Realistically, and look at Columbus. Columbus have lost Christian Ramirez, who scored what 13 goals for them last season. Lost their MVP and Chucho, who's a 20 game goal scorer. And they're still a threat. We still got Rossi there. You got the young man Rose Smith up there as well, and they still look dangerous as ever. And those guys have played together more consistently, and some would say even better than what Miami has during that time span. And if you're talking like that, man, I'm at home. Those guys might put like a 5-6 spot on this. The way we're playing right now.
They did lose 3-0 last night to LAFC in LA.
Yeah, but
they also have to travel as well.
But like I said, at the start of the season, but playing at home, gives you that different type of energy. Well, I would hope. Obviously we're not feeling that right now with these first 2 games at home that we faltered. But Columbus is always going to be a big player, because they have ambitions as well, as far as lifting up trophies and showing the league that it's not all about the big market teams and all that good stuff. But just your thoughts. As far as what is there any type of way we can garner a point, salvage a point? I don't even want to talk about a win right now, because I don't see any kind of way we can win, because I honestly just don't see how we can score goals. If as soon as we go down a goal, it seems like all is lost, because we're not a team right now capable of making a comeback from being down a goal or 2 or whatever.
Can we garner a point? Can Ben make a substitution, change the lineup to start the game? Can we be unpredictable? We're so predictable. We stretch the field with Aliyu. We get the ball to Aliyu, then he slows it down, waits for the rest of the team, waits for Dorsey to overlap on the other side. Then we finally include that right winger, and it's just such a predictable style, and we're not changing it. And it's so easy to defend, especially when Aliyu's not taking on those defenders and becoming an offensive threat. He's just a defensive juggernaut, we'll say, and he still makes bad passes as well half the time. So the adjustment needs to be on the style. We need to play faster. And what's hard going to be here is Columbus is a mirror to us, or we're a mirror to them. Basically, the same styles can be coming at each other. They like to possess the game. We like to possess the game. Obviously, we didn't possess the game against Miami. So what's going to change? Can a couple players starting instead of Ben's besties starting? make a difference in a 60-minute span, or is him implementing a couple things tactically gonna he's going to have to implement a couple things tactically just to get out there and salvage a point, and just to get a goal and get to that point to where you can park the bus and defend the win, and hope you can hold up but salvage for a tie. It's tough, but Ben has to make adjustments. Something.
I mean, but obviously there needs to be some change. But I mean, you look at our bench, and this is including Ladero. I mean, and all due respect to Ladero, he's a great player, but he's 35 years old, right? He's in the back end of his career, like back end of his career.
He
And
doesn't feel that way, and he told us that he doesn't feel that way.
I mean, look,
When we asked him to his face, he said, "I am game fit. I can play 90 minutes." And he played 16. He played 16 starts last year for Orlando and played in every single game. So he's capable, and we're not asking 90 minutes of him. I guarantee if he does start. So what do we need? We need offense. Do we need some defense? Fuck no. So throw him on the field. Don't worry about his defense. He can play like Suarez and hobble around on two knees and just relax, and we'll see what happens. I don't know.
I mean, I wasn't trying to be disrespectful. I mean, but I'm saying, like,
Yeah.
like obviously the time the little time that he's played. I mean, he's shown a lot. I mean, he scored a goal, and he almost scored another goal against Frisco during the time that he came in the first game, or almost assisted a goal, if I remember correctly. But I mean, but even with that, aside from Ladero, I don't see anybody who can come in and change the game. I don't see anybody who can come in and lift the spirits. I mean, like, who's on this bench? I mean, I know we talk about Exxon and this and that, but that's a young kid, like, are we really ready to put our whole hope and faith into how old is he? 18, 19-year-old kid,
you talking about Duenas?
Yeah, or whoever. No, I'm talking about Exxon, the winger.
Oh no! Well, I mean, not hopes and dreams, but you just give him an opportunity to see what he can do. Dwayne is maybe not a game changer or a playmaker, but you've seen that he's creative, and he has MLS minutes for an LAFC team that has been pretty good the past few years. So you've got a proven player right there, and he's got the assist to Lodero. So there's a player right there. What can he do if he's given more time? He's shown that he can come out and play and create some offense. So Exxon could be a threat to where I guarantee he can do what Aliyu does: stand there out to the wing, receive the ball, and then pass it to another player. Except this time, Exxon might try to take you on because he's got some speed. So there's something a little different. Just he's not getting the opportunity. So there's things you could do and just try to change it up a little bit, and then give Ponce some space to take somebody on 1v1. But you got to force those changes during the game and do something different. Of course, Aliyu, nobody wants Aliyu starting on the left wing. There's other things you could do just to create more offense. This game, obviously, we're on the road. Ben's going to try to score and then park the bus and try to defend, and he's not going to be so aggressive. So I don't know what to expect from this game except another 3-1 loss.
So I'm gonna ask you this, guys. And I'll ask you for just one thing that you can do, Andres. If you were Ben Olsen and you're going to Columbus, what's one change that you're making for this team?
Honestly, just to go back to Lodero, because I do have to give him his own shout out already, because literally for the past two games that I went to Shell Energy Stadium, literally the last person to be in a mixed zone and literally apologizing to everyone in the media for just being late. It's Lodero, because literally you saw how he spoke, and he's just like able to provide like solutions on his own opinion, of course. Like you can notice the drive that he has to play, and he's just ready to go to even start at this point. Obviously, granted, he hasn't been with the team for a long time to justify that, but at this point in time, I feel like the drive he just evokes out of everyone, I feel like he can give some good energy, and I feel like at this point in time, he should be able to give him a shot.
Yeah,
because especially in the last game, because look, in the last game, it was like pretty bad environment, and I was literally just waiting for him to come, for all the players to go down to the mix zone, and it's already been like over an hour since the game ended, and Lodero is not just the last person to be in the mix zone, but also the player that still has the kit on. Like everyone else already showered, already left the stadium, and they just like look sad. Lodeiro's literally on his kit still, and just
not his kit. It wasn't his kit. He was in his shorts, but he was in Seba's kit.
Yeah. He wasn't Kowalczyk's jersey, but he literally was in his game shorts and socks, and like literally, like you could see him, like he was still in the mindset of like playing the game and just feeling hurtful. But,
I mean, look,
yeah,
we can't all. I mean, look, the type of player he is. I mean, look, he's won almost everywhere he's gone. Right, he's won something. He's won major titles and stuff like that. I mean, he's a very skillful player, and the same thing like with Suarez or what I mentioned earlier. Yeah, these guys are getting older, but they learn how to advance their game to where they, even though they're getting older and slower, they still know how to look fast on the pitch and look and be active on the pitch and to cause havoc on the pitch. Because the thing is, when they're on the pitch, it takes away eyes off of McGlynn. McGlynn can be more effective. It takes away eyes from Ponce, and Ponce can have somebody who he can connect with and hopefully create some chances with. So I mean, he does provide a whole lot of different things as far as, you know, positives go. OSG, let me ask you the same question. One thing that you can do if you were Ben Olsen for this weekend, what would you do?
Well, I'm going to agree with Andres right here 100% because, other things he's not going to, he's not going to make a change to the style, which I would prefer. But you can make that player change and get him in for this type of game. I think he'll be good.
Hold on. But I'm telling you are Ben Olsen. If you want to make a change to the formation, make the change to the formation. What formation you're going to?
It's not more or less the formation. It's more or less the style and the direction and the flow of the game that we've been playing with. I would speed up the tempo and speed up the pace. I would, maybe I would not. You're asking like the Coco play a position to who doesn't play wide, maybe to play a little more wider here in a couple runs instead of us having that closed off on that side and be able to stretch out those defenders to where Ponce is not so cluttered over there. And just so maybe that's what I would do, is just spread out the right side a little bit more in various situations, maybe not the entire game, just to throw off the team, of course, but make the wing a lot wider over there, spread that field a little more.
Okay. So, obviously, Columbus Crew up next Saturday at 1:30 our time.
Real quick, Mark.
Yeah.
There was we had a video, some fan reactions, and you asked us what we kind of changes we were made. I was able to ask them too as well, and we kind of neglected that clip and left it out of the Foxtrot game day. That was my fault, by the way, Andres. I didn't get it to you. I don't know why I didn't, but it was one it was in the supporter section. These were Surge members, man. So if we could real quick just play that clip, just let the fans listen to them. These are just fans who are watching from the game in the stands who don't get to talk about the game like we do and get to go analyze it like this. They do pay attention. Obviously, they're Surge members, they're supporter members. But let's just real quick play that and hear what they have to say. You can let it know. This is the fan segment part of it. You have the right to speak your mind, and we're going to speak our mind on the podcast as well. So I'm going to start with you. Inferno tonight was an absolute shit show and a disappointment, man. So how do you feel?
I feel heartbroken, but at the same time, it's early on in the season. We got a lot of time to get this team together, but it isn't like we got all the time in the world. We got to get this shit together. Ben's got to get this team together, and if he doesn't, then he ain't a part of the future. We all got to be together. Coach, owners, players, we all got to be on the same page. And if we're not, something's missing. But we shouldn't have lost today. It should have been an easy win. And these guys coming and beating us 4-1 at home, it's not acceptable. So all I'm going to say is I love this team. I love the Dynamo, but this is not acceptable.
Y'all heard it from Inferno there. He was a little optimistic to start. We should have won this game. I don't, maybe before the first whistle blow, we had an opportunity, but then the whistle blew and that game was over. G-Money. A lot of frustration with Ben Olsen is coming to sound like. A lot of frustration with Ben from the fans outside of before this game. Can we take anything from this game that's positive at all from what you saw today, or was it just all negatives?
Hell no, I didn't see nothing good out of there. Ain't nothing. I didn't see anything. Ali, same old, same old. He couldn't do anything.
This is for you, Jared. Ali who?
Ali who? Who? It seemed like we didn't know what we were doing out there. Mistakes. Like, what the hell are we doing? What are we doing for real? Like, there's nothing good. Like, I was hoping at least like a 2-1, like a closer game than 4-1. Like, what? Like, I feel like Ben needs to like look at every player and be like, do you really want to play? Or do you not want to play? Do you want me bench? Or give other people a bench on a chance? Because Vico came in and look what he did. Like, bench did more than Stars at times, it felt like. And it's just frustrating.
Exxon did more on the bench than Aliu did on the field, and Exxon still didn't get to play at all, So, Tender King, Jacob, that I want to ask you, Ben doesn't make subs, and he's stubborn, just like this guy's saying. You have an opportunity to play people on the bench, and this is a game, 3-0, 12 minutes left. We finally score a goal to make 3-1 back, and then it's 4-1. Why are we not playing more players when the opportunity, like his, is right in front of you to look at other players?
I mean, we got a lot of talent that's on the bench that's not getting opportunities right now.
Yeah.
Exxon should have gone in.
Yep.
He should have gone in. Possibly even started over Aliu, because that might be a long shot, but still, like, I feel like watching him at D2, and now he's just riding bench. Like, he should be starting over Aliu. Aliu's not even a true winger; he's a striker. And even then, he can't even capitalize on his chances. So Exxon should be getting more opportunities. I didn't think. I think Duenas got in today. Late. He was showing signs of life. Yeah. He was really pushing the tempo on Miami. There's a whole bunch of Nico, as G mentioned. Like, he came in, scored a goal. What if our bench is doing more than the starters? Yep. That's an issue. Yep. And so ultimately it's got to come down to lineup changes, and it's got to come down to strategy, tactics overall, because what we saw here today in that 4-1 loss, something needs to change. Whether it's the formation, how we're attacking the ball, how we're defending, whatever it is, it's got to get switched up.
You say something needs to change. I questioned something with Dynamic Foxtrot at halftime when we spoke, and it was already 3-0. And I asked somebody here a few minutes ago, do we have a style? Last season we knew how Ben was playing, and you could see it in the league. It took a minute for the catch on, but now the league's caught on. Do we actually have a style, or are we just playing rec soccer right now? I'll let any of y'all answer that.
Being honest, right now, I think with the new guys that we're trying to implement I think there still needs to be some more buy-in into the system. So right now it kind of feels like rec soccer, but at the same time, there are moments where it looks like Benny Ball is working. But it's so rare and so few, like, there's so few opportunities where we actually get to see those glimpses. So the style that we've had for the past 2 years, where we've been able to make playoffs, have a decent run, if anything, that's gone. That's gone right now. It's not even visible out on the field. So, like I said earlier, if something's got to change, Ben's got to do something to make the magic happen again, because it's not happening.
Does Ben need to break his own heart? Because he doesn't make subs, he doesn't change style, he doesn't make tactical adjustments, to me, in my eyes, and that's been something that's going on for quite a while, and he's not making those adjustments. Do you, or am I seeing something different?
Nah, he needs to change it up. Too stubborn. Make subs early. I mean, honestly, if I was betting at halftime, I would have done changes already. I would have done changes at halftime. Down 3-0, there was nothing going down in the first half.
I mean, Barlow came in, but even then, I mean, we still let up a goal.
That was just a sub to relax Eric, because he's not 100% yet. But what were you about to say right there?
I totally agree with Jacob and what Giuseppe are saying. If we don't make change and we continue to do what we're doing, then we will continue to lose. We will continue to lose games, and we will continue to drop to the bottom of the game. We have to change. We have to get that implemented into the system and implemented into the players and the new players that have come into the game. Because if we don't, then it's like a virus that spreads throughout the locker room. And being a Man United fan as well, we already know how that feels. So it just, you can't allow it to happen, and you have to find the little thing that makes it happen positively for everyone else in the locker room. Ben's the captain, he's the leader, and he's responsible for this, so he's got to make the change.
Got to make it click somehow. Got to make it click somehow.
10 games to open up this season are the toughest. 9 of those are against playoff teams. Dallas was not one of those. When we're going to Columbus next, then come back here for RSL. We have Seattle, Portland, the LA's coming. That's the first, man. If this is how we're starting the season off, I'm not too confident how we're going to make it through those first games.
Two goals for us and like 6 against us?
Yeah,
These 2 games?
Yeah, 4 to 1 and 2 to 1. Yeah. So it's ridiculous. So I'm with these guys right here. Changes need to be made. Ben needs to do something different, and he's going to have to start on Monday. And I hope he's being asked those questions right now at the press conference behind us, and maybe even his kids and how, hey, Dad, the plan's not working. Let's do something different.
I hope Ben likes to fire in them. I hope Ben likes to fire them, because these 2 games is like, what are we doing?
Either that or the players light a fire in him.
Yes.
Because, I mean, it's not gelling.
Or
right
you know
now.
what?
It's
Players
not.
only meeting. Figure it out. Talk to themselves. Figure it out. Get the anger out. Whatever.
Someone is a winner in that locker room, and they have to like spark that flame, and they have to want more.
They gotta,
And that's Eric, but I think Ben needs to be more susceptible to the players in his locker room, because he's not, like, again, he's the same starting 11 since last season at the beginning. We're not making changes. They're only necessary changes because of injury right now. Not making any adjustments.
It's predictable.
Yeah, very predictable.
Very predictable.
Just like Aliu is predictable. I could leave him open on the wing all day. As soon as he receives the ball, he's going to go backwards. He's not going to go forwards. It's just tough, man. So I appreciate you guys sticking it out. It's a few minutes after the game. I'm sure y'all got some people to catch up with and drink it off. But, man, any shout outs, anything else y'all want to say before we head out?
Ride or die, Houston Dynamo for life.
Yeah. Houston Dynamo for life.
Vamos. No matter what. No matter what. We're going to ride them. We ride with our club.
Surge. OSG.
Surge. Yeah, that's
He
what's
doing
up.
it.
That's what's up. That's what's up. Appreciate it, guys. This is on
Foxtrot,
TV.
baby.
Yeah, Foxtrot.
Hey, we'll see y'all next time, and hopefully when we come back at home against RSL, we're going to be in a better mood. And the Dash are going to give us a win the day before that game as well. So we got a doubleheader that weekend. So come catch us at the Dash first. We'll see some better soccer, hopefully, and then we'll get a win with these Dynamo boys.
Yes, sir.
Hey,
Follow Foxtrot on all social media platforms.
Yeah, I love it, boys. I love it.
Just going back to obviously Columbus Crew this Saturday at 1:30 p.m. our time. They're 2-0 to start off the season. Obviously, they have Champions Cup going along as well. They unfortunately fell 0-3 in LA against LAFC. So I mean, they might be looking ahead to the Champions Cup match against LAFC to try to obviously get that 3-0 deficit back to even. So they might be looking past us. We hope. Maybe it could work to our benefit. Just your thoughts on the game, Andres, and then your prediction, your score prediction.
I'm looking for adjustments more than anything, like we just talked about, because we're in an interesting position where at this point it feels like there's stuff we can probably be trying right now and see if we have a different approach to this game. Granted, not the way we completely play the game, because that we're just missing on fundamentals, but still, like we're at a bad start of the year. We want to see something new, and we've already seen that MLS is a strange league, and things happen when teams are just able to bounce back. So I expect a tight game from here. Columbus is a pretty big opponent, regardless of how many players they have now. But like, if the Dynamo coming in a good game or a fresh mindset or a fresh start, I feel like they can influence this game. So I feel like it's gonna be a 1-1.
1-1. So we do garner a point. OSG, to you too, man. How do you feel this game's gonna go this Saturday, and your prediction for a score?
So obviously Columbus is not going to be as a threat as they were last year. You named the 2 big players that is not with that team no longer, and it's hard to gauge what Columbus can do so far. That 3-0 loss to LA looks pretty bad. They beat Chicago Fire to open the season 4-2 at home, by the way, and then at New England Revolution they won 1-0. So they've got goals. So man, that there. It looks like the numbers, stats wise, across the board. For us and them, it looks like it's pretty equal. They have a little more possession than us, obviously, because we're just terrible at it right now. But everything else looks like the numbers are across the board. They're lacking in crossing. They're lacking in some offensive ability here. So it could go any way. But right now, the way we're playing, we do score a goal, but is it going to be enough? I said 3-1 earlier. I think it'll be a 2-1 Columbus win. I'm just hoping for something different, but it's going to be hard for us to garner a point right now against that type of team.
Okay. As far as my opinion goes, I think, obviously, I would like to be optimistic and say that, that Columbus might look past us and look towards the LAFC home match that they're going to have next Wednesday to try to equal up the goal aggregate. But obviously, this team, that club has been through this situation before. They're a club that goes after trophies. They play in international tournaments. So I think I would be disrespecting them by thinking that they would look past us like that. So with that being said, I'm going to be negative Nancy here. And I think Columbus Crew is going to go 4-0 against the Dynamo, unfortunately. I think Diego Rossi, he's still a beast. I think they're going to be motivated to try to end the game quickly as possible. So maybe like how Miami did the first half, maybe 2 quick goals in the first half, or maybe even 3, put the game out of reach and just go easy with a big switch of rotation players in the second half. So with that being said, I think it's going to be a 4-0 loss for the Dynamo. Unfortunately, I hope I'm wrong. I really, really hope I'm wrong. But that's just I gotta go. I gotta go with what I see with my eyes. And like I said, I see no creativity. I see no changes. I see no players on the bench that can help. So it is what it is with that part. With that being said, guys, I got a question to ask y'all about the Dynamo at this moment. Obviously, it's only been 2 games, and obviously we still have all of the season to go, and obviously we're hoping that we're gonna have. I know we're gonna get reinforcements later on and stuff like that, but who knows how long it'll take for those reinforcements to get engaged with the team and to get on par with the chemistry and all that stuff. But with that being said, do you think at this current time are the Dynamo the worst team in MLS right now?
No.
They're technically sitting in last place in the West.
On paper, yeah, but Sporting KC.
Yeah, that is true. Sporting KC is pretty bad, but Montreal is just a shit show as well. So, that's tough. Toronto still sucks. So the worst team, no, because we have so much potential. We know we have Inali coming back. We expect to have Quinones back. We don't know at what capacity he'll be back off this horrible injury, but expecting him to be back. Those are 2. Suarez with a friggin' goal. That's 2 U22s and that are awesome. To come in with, and and that DP10 still coming. But right now, no. Are we the worst team? No. We're looking like we could be down there, but we've shot ourselves in the foot 3 times out of the 6 goals we've given up. Maybe even four of those goals are we contributed to our own friggin' to the opponent scoring. So. I was trying to give us an opportunity in this game because I'm hoping that we could just neglect ourselves in the mistakes, and it's going to make this game more competitive and keep us closer. I still think Columbus wins, but that's where I'm kind of hoping. So with the worst team, no. I think we can fix our mistakes and make ourselves look better and then be that cusp. And then our players come in and light a fire under their asses.
So we'll see after this game this week. I'll ask y'all again next week if you feel closer that we're closer to a wooden spoon, or will we be fighting for a playoff spot here in the future? I hope.
I think it's a fair question to ask every week.
No, for sure.
Yes.
Look. Yeah. LA Galaxy obviously have their major players out right now. So, we know Galaxy's going to be there at the end, and stuff like that. Montreal is they are bad. Sporting KC. How Peter Verm still has a job there. I mean, obviously he's done a lot for that franchise, but I mean, at some point, you got to move on and bring in fresh blood. But hey, he still has a job and he's still doing this thing over there with Sporting Kansas City. It beats me, but hey, if they suck, they suck. That means it's better for us. But yeah,
Austin's pretty bad too.
Well, yeah, but Austin did win the first game, so so they
against Sporting KC.
Hey, but yeah, guys. Unfortunately, obviously, it's a fair question to ask, right? And it's not a question that I feel happy asking because, like I said, I support this club and I love this club, and and I want this club to be at the top echelon. Obviously, the last 2 years have been such a ride and such a great time because of the decade prior of failure and just piss poor performances and piss poor investment. To see what the club is capable of. I don't want it to go back to what that was, and it's I guess it's Dynamo PTSD of that, things can fall so quickly in this league because if you decide to take a little bit of a break or if you decide not to spend money where you need to spend it, you can fall back quickly. You can fall back, and we're experiencing that at the moment, So with that being said, we'll see what happens. But guys, is there anything else you want to add before we end up going, or we end up shutting down episode 129?
Yeah, I got a reminder. Everybody, Dose is starting their season this weekend at home, 7:30 on Saturday night as well. Tickets are free. You just got to get them off of SeatGeek. They're down at SaberCat Stadium, down on 288 South. So go check them out, and they're on Apple. So if you have Apple, you can watch them. I suggest watching them. Is not the whole season, but as much as you can. There are players on there to follow and to learn about who you're going to see come up. You're probably going to see Exxon playing for Dose too, so you'd be curious to watch him play for Dose and to see him play over there again. And other players, Sebastian Rodriguez, Diego Gonzalez. You're going to see Steven Anor probably be the striker over there. Felipe Andrade will probably be our center back over there. So who's going to be the keeper? So some curious things to go. But yeah, watch Dose 7:30 Saturday night. Their season is starting. And I'll keep you updated on the Twitter side of it.
Shout out down to Dose,
man. And and that's a good reminder because sometimes those they are not showing on Apple TV specifically because sometimes they switch in between Apple TV, MLS Season Pass on Apple TV or YouTube. Yep. And every single time, every single weekend, of course, like Oshie and I, we're going to keep you updated on where the game is going to show. So as always, follow Noodle Tiempo or on X and Dynamic Foxtrot. I'm also on Instagram and Blue Sky with the same handle. So all season long for those as they kick off, and we wait for the roster to come out. It's probably going to be dropped on the same day, so we're always going to go through that at some point. So, but yeah, stay tuned for like our updates on social media, and of course wherever you listen to the podcast or watch, just look up Noodle Time or on any podcast platform. We're most likely going to be there, and all season long to watch it on YouTube. Foxtrot TV and Ghost TV. It's a good platform to discover new soccer content creators like us. So I highly recommend checking it out if you haven't already. That's goals.tv. That's GOLD.tv. And you can also find us there.
Yeah, guys. Well, with that being said, guys, hopefully when we get back together next week, we're talking something more positive. I feel like this show was a little bit more damper just because of the mood and the unfortunate circumstances of the club. But things in MLS can switch up on you with the quickness. So that's what we're hoping for, guys. But with that being said, until next week, guys, H is up and hold it down.
H is up. Let's go.